In my head again, you had your heart set on me, but these feels, they come and go, and they come so easily. Tell me what it is about you that I can't forget, but you're breaking down my walls again, just to set me free. Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling? Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling? Staying up when I go out, you gotta know I'm all yours. But when I say what's that about, you start slurring your words. Tell me why you have to seem so distant when I'm holding you. Your fingertips are drifting away, and I fucking love how it hurts. Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling? Why do I, drifting to places I should leave, so close to the edge of something so perfect. We were too scared to take the leap. I'm missing the way we used to be. Let me go. Left me in this mess I'm falling. Never know. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Couldn't get any closer. Tried to forget all that we had. I'm rolling like water in the sea. The memories crashing into me. So close to the edge of something so worth it. You have the world right at your feet. It almost is all we'll ever be.
Die.
There we go. I'm back now.
Hello.
You're up. Yep. Whenever you're ready.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this evening's episode of Fireside Chats. I'm just kidding. It's Alone in the Void with Dire Bear Adventuring Company, our crew aboard the the NWEC Praetor. More mysteries have been uncovered. Some answers maybe have been found. Is it possibly a wormhole? If so, did they fall in there unexpectedly somewhere along the trip that they were making? Or is there another force acting upon them, pushing them further and further along this path of constant reboot? Why do they remember everything if it's a reboot? If it's a reset, why do they maintain the memory? Why do they see the weird supernatural, almost eerie things that they do, like a tray moving on its own? A part of the ship destroyed completely, sucking them out into the void, only to find out that it is not at all. Why is there 45 minutes of time? What's the significance here, and why the missing passengers? Join the crew as we have once again with us Atlas playing Kane. We have Jack playing Captain Marilyn. Kane's, by the way. Who unfortunately is not going to be joining us on cam. But that's okay, because they're here and we love having them here anyway.
I even came on time.
We have
Yay.
the captain wakes up for once. And that really is what sets everything off. The time loop is fixed.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it.
What if,
Congratulations. Last episode. We have Nara, who is played by Maddie. We have Skippy, who is played by Jason, and we have V playing Quentin, and Pelka, who is playing Name. When last episode, they discovered that there might possibly be something to do with an Einstein-Rosen bridge. And for those of you who aren't familiar with that terminology, an Einstein-Rosen bridge is another fancy name for a wormhole. Is it possible that they are hurtling through the perpetual motion of a wormhole? But generally, those connect to different locations. So, is this something else that's enacting and keeping them here? Oh, I guess we'll have to find out. The klaxons sound. You awaken. The pods opening up for everyone. Once again, the door for the navigator has to be torn off and opened by the Marine and the rest of the crew. The captain is slow to awaken once again. You are standing there with the klaxons sounding, the alarms blaring. What are you doing?
Putting on pants, heading to the bridge.
Ignoring my pants and heading to the bridge.
All right.
Yeah.
For once, Nara's actually going to get dressed.
I'll get dressed as usual.
All right.
So now you're all abandoning me.
Sorry. Also,
No.
Cap, is your cam on?
Oh, yes, it is.
I don't see it. Hold on. Oh,
That sounds like a you problem.
it probably is, to be honest. So I'm gonna just reload.
My camera is rejecting your
Reality.
willfulness to not join us.
But I look terrible, and nobody needs to see that. Okay?
Like
Jack,
me.
I love
every-
you.
Thank you.
Okay, so you are heading to the bridge.
Yes.
When you arrive at the bridge, everything appears as the way it always has. Once again, navigator, you write the course of the ship. You get the report that the celestial body, whatever it is still ahead of you. Skippy, you check the cameras again?
Yes.
Same
Kind of the
45
usual routine.
Yep, same 45-minute time loop out of the video. Nara, one more passenger is missing for a total of 45.
Inconsequential or somebody that we would qualify as important?
Inconsequential.
Forrestal.
This is episode 4. Remind myself. Yeah, inconsequential. They don't appear to be anyone of any import. Their specialization was with psychology, and dealing with basically, it looks like they were hired or brought on board to deal with the transition from life on a thriving planet to life on a planet that doesn't have much in the way of
Anything?
Starbucks, malls,
Anything.
things like that.
They don't have Starbucks.
No!
No.
That's the real tragedy here.
Not
First favorite
Starbucks.
YouTuber. No Starbucks.
That's the real. No, that is the real tragedy. There's no Starbucks.
Everything's been taken from me.
You finally did it! You finally did it!
Oh,
You damn monsters! Land of the planet, and there's just the remnants of the Starbucks there,
No!
looking like Planet of the Apes at the very end.
How falls on his knees and screams at the skies.
All right,
God.
45 missing. The
If we
time-
look at the physical location of the pod, is there any kind of pattern as to who's being taken?
All right. You ask Nara to pull up the pods, and you start taking a look at them. Doesn't seem to be. It's an even number up until now. Now, tube number 1 is missing one more than the rest of them. Because when it was 44 people missing, you had 11 out of each chamber. Now, number 1 has 12 missing out of it.
based on the order that we've seen them disappear, does it look like they're taking one out of this group, one out of this group, one out of this group, and just working its way back around?
It looks like it's going in a sequential order. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Because in the first check you had, when there were 42 missing, you had an even number with the exception of like one of the tubes, and then it righted itself, and now there's an even number missing out of all of them, except for number 1 because it looks like it's starting over again. Started picking from number 1. Name. What's that, Jason? Sorry.
So what happens when they get everybody?
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of resets. Nane, what are you doing at this time?
I'm gonna come over, Skippy, and jump on get on the cameras. We're gonna look back just to cargo bay.
Okay.
Found some shenanigans in.
Yeah, you did find some stuff last time, didn't you?
Yeah. Cocaine.
That you cocaine. I found
yes. Yes.
Yes.
I'm an expert on the subject.
You did. You found several bricks, large bricks of cocaine, as well as guns that actually fire real projectiles and other munitions and ordnance. That the only person that knows of it other than you is Skippy the ensign.
So yeah, gotta go back and
You're
check
checking
the
the
logs.
camera?
Yeah, check the logs to see who put that.
All right. You're looking through the logs to see who brought that on board. Oddly enough, just like the manifest for the inventory when you were going through the actual cargo bay manifest, there's nobody who mentions that has been brought on board. It seems like it's an extra box.
So can I go back to the beginning of the tapes and then fast forward, see the loading of the cargo bay?
Yes, and we'll come right back to that. Quentin, Tane, what are you guys doing right now while this is going on?
I kind of want to check out the cafeteria again just to see if that tray's still there.
Okay, so you're going to check the video, or are you actually going to go to the cafeteria?
No, actually,
If I remember, I woke up hungry last time.
You
again.
did. You woke up hungry. Hungry.
Again. So, I guess I'll just
A
go
bit-
to the
a bit
cafeteria this
peckish.
time. A bit peckish.
A bit peckish.
okay.
Quentin is making his way towards the doors, heading toward the cafeteria, because he's like, all right, I've done what I need to do for this part, so.
Pretty much.
Okay, I'll follow so I can check out that tray.
All right.
And then after I get back, I'm going to check the video. Or actually, no, I call back to everybody else. I say, hey, check on this. Fuck. I'm going to lose the accent. I'm not frame. Anyways, I tell
here right now.
I tell anybody else on the bridge to take a look at the take a look at the video feeds to see if the weird shit's still there, cuz like didn't almost everybody see like some weird thing happen, like Nane stepped into the nuclear reactor,
Yes.
and then like
there was a distortion,
yeah, so
and the distortion seemed to affect everybody else's cameras like in a sequential order, with that being the nexus and then branching out to everyone else.
okay, I yelled to Nane to check that out. We're going to get Quentin some food. And then I leave.
And then you just leave. All right.
Yeah. That's your job now.
He is the science officer, so.
So it's been his job. I'm just
right.
reminding.
Nara.
Most things are my title is pretty broad.
Most things are his
I
job.
do
Science,
science.
engineering.
Is it dealing with science? That's his job.
No,
If
no,
it's
no.
not
But
flying or
is
shooting,
it medical science? Because if it's medical science, it's not his job.
True.
I don't deal with shooting guns. People who got shot by guns flying. That's really it.
It's just- everything else is cool. Flying, medicine, combat. Out. Everything else is cool. All right. So you two head off the bridge, heading toward the mess hall.
Yes.
All right, Captain.
Me
What are you doing at this time?
crying. What am I doing? I don't know.
Other than having an existential crisis, what are you doing?
No, Captain.
I'm supposed to know things, aren't I? Did I see? I don't even remember. Did I see anything strange on my camera?
As you were looking through your camera, okay. How far
Yeah.
back do you want to put this? And also, do you remember what you heard last time?
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, that's weird. Should I mention that maybe?
It's totally up to you.
Oh god. Oh. They're gonna all think I'm crazy.
You really think they're gonna think you're crazy and all that's going on right now?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm supposed to inspire confidence, not be like, yo, you know all the crazy shit that's happening, it's happening to me too.
Surprise.
Have I not shown anything but enthusiasm for weird things happening?
That's fair.
You do seem eager about this all. Shit's moving. Cool. No, not
I
cool.
think there's an alien on the ship.
reactor.
I mean, I definitely at the beginning also I thought like, I wonder what happens if we just let everyone disappear from the colonist bay.
Not gonna
We all
lie,
just chill, play
low key
cards.
thinking that too.
We just
Out of
send
character.
Everybody out. Just
Yeah.
bye.
Okay, what now, time loop?
Everybody's
Everybody's gone.
boom.
Does it stop? Does it start taking us? Does it start putting them back? Who knows?
Yeah, all of a sudden it's just one at a time. They start coming back. We're just like, okay.
Sweet, we fixed
Medicine's
it.
a module.
We fixed it.
Since you basically took the bridge, crew pod, medicine bay, which has its own power source and basically is a module escape pod. Just, there they go, floating away.
Bye.
You're all just
Okay. Shit.
We can repopulate with the crew. It's fine.
Yeah, we can.
We have
whoa,
Two.
whoa.
Okay.
Whoa, that's a lot.
You know what? That's a lot of.
Well, yeah, but no. When I say crew, you can't forget the crew that like each section has 10 of.
Yeah, but that crew is actually in the.
In the
That
normal
crew's in the life pods.
Are they? That's
Yeah,
not
those
what
are
you
the
told me
colonies.
last week.
No, I said they were in the same. They were in the
Because
same
I
ones.
asked if because I
only
want
ones
to check
that
on
aren't
the
are you.
crew. So we're the only ones who
Hey.
aren't in there. Thank you.
You are the only ones who are not. Your pods are separate.
All right. Well, that I mean, it could happen, but that'd be.
Awkward.
Logistically, okay. Anyway, moving on. As the captain, I'm putting an end to this conversation.
Fiction.
Oh.
On this episode of Life Swap.
Oh my god!
You again?
Oh.
I'm leaving.
Uh,
All right.
Shut in yourself.
I hate this fucking family.
I hate this fucking time.
No, you don't.
This sounds like
Okay,
a nightmare.
Okay, shit. I'm gonna go up to. Is everybody at the bridge now?
Connie and Quentin have just left.
Okay,
Everybody else is there.
okay.
Bye, bitch.
Bye. I'm gonna go up to Nara and just take her aside I don't know what it means, but I have to tell you something. After the headache that I had, I've been hearing things like
What sort of things?
it's like a voice. Well, okay, so I know this sounds crazy, but it just sounds
Captain, we're flying through space. Nothing sounds crazy.
okay. Well, here and there it fades out, but at times, especially around the end of the headache or the pain, I hear things like iteration 45 spinning up, and it's and countdowns, and it's very strange to me, obviously, because not happening in real life. So I don't know if it's another one of those time things. This isn't my division, okay? That's all I can. Can you?
I'm a captain, not a doctor.
I'm a captain, not a doctor. Can you tell me if this is curable?
Captain, not an astrophysicist.
Yeah, honestly. I'm just here to make sure nobody kills each other, okay?
How's that working out for you so far?
So far okay.
Awesome.
It might be latent memories from when we were running simulations to prepare for the flight.
Why now?
Because you're awake? There's a very good chance that when we had landed it may have cropped up then as well. It may just be residual cryo issues. Cryoscience isn't perfect. As much as I would love to say that it is, it's not perfect. If it persists, let me know.
Okay. Sorry, I guess
Don't apologize. I'm taking this very seriously. Everybody's medical and mental well-being is my problem. So if there's something wrong, you need to tell me immediately. And you've done so. We'll monitor, and we'll see what happens. How are your headaches, by the way?
Okay for now.
Yeah, you haven't had another one.
They've resolved since last time. Thank you.
Of course.
And if somebody hears all that fucking rain, it's me. Sorry. Nature's being a bitch right now.
It's alright. I don't hear anything, so.
Good.
I only hear it when you're talking.
Alright. Maine. You are looking over you looked over the log.
Zoobity zoop.
You wanted to move the cameras all the way back to prior to, when the ship
loading of
launched. Like prior to the ship launch, everything. You go to run it back, and you actually have to go into the log itself and pull up that matching date. So what I'd like for you to do is give me a electronics roll, please. Nailed it! All right, so easily enough, this computer is your plaything. You easily bring up the logs, find the start date, the earliest date that's recorded on there, and you start watching. You see all of the cargo being loaded in, and then you see... Actually, no. You see some of the cargo being brought in. You watch as two of the naval, not officers, but just regular enlisted men,
The grunts.
make their way on board with the box on just a lift, on a mag lift that they can move around. They set it down, take the lift out, put the box down. You see the captain walk up, shake their hands, and hand each of them an envelope. There's some words exchanged, but you can't see anything. They both nod their heads, and then they leave. The captain kind of
Skippy.
rubs her hands on her pants, and then looks at the box and walks away.
Skippy.
I lean over, look at Nan's camera.
Hey!
Because it's basically banks of computers that are sitting kind of in a half circle, and then the captain has another one at her desk, at her chair, and then the navigator is there, and so then they're just the comms officers and things like that sit around in the semicircle.
Wait, so would there be anyone behind us?
The captain would be behind you.
I'm gonna shift a little in front of that. Casually
moving in front of the cameras or the screen so that nothing can be seen.
Hey, so super chill here. What the fuck?
Put his arm around him, but it's the metal one, so it's cold on your neck.
But the captain is outside talking to the dog.
Vanessa, what did you do?
It fell.
That's it. That's it. Tane spaced Quentin. That's
No,
Holy shit, he's dead.
It
I
hasn't
can't believe
happened.
Quentin is dead.
Oh, I'm just breaking everything.
Sometimes
now.
I can still hear his voice.
Quentin,
Quit
you
telling
dead
everyone
man.
I'm dead.
Hey, there you are. Welcome back.
I found it. I don't even know
And
what
the
that
time
happened.
loop resets.
It's all right. This will be forgotten next week whenever the time resets.
I just said this is how it is now. This is it.
Like, all of this is forgotten. All right.
Quentin's just that short.
The captain and Nara are talking kind of at you guys. Did you guys leave the room, or did you just kind of
We're
pull
kind of off
us
in the corner.
off on the side? Okay. Yeah, they're just kind of off on the side. And so you show Skippy what you had on the camera.
Well, this isn't good.
The thing for sure. Huh.
Quentin, Tane,
Yeet!
you make your way to the chow hall.
Okay.
There is no mysterious tray sitting on the table. You go and make yourselves an MRE. Trying a different one this time, since you remembered how the other one tastes. You just say, "Hey, let's try something different this time."
Let's do the whole thing. Just every
Down a line.
every loop, a brand new one.
There are 45 different. No, I'm just kidding.
We're gonna be here for a
45
while.
different types of meals you can have. You you sit down and make yourself an MRE as you bring it out to sit down at the table. Nothing. You enjoy the meal. No mysterious tray anywhere.
Okay, because Tane's keeping an eye on that table pretty much the whole time.
Okay. Yeah. You enjoy it. It's as good as you remember.
All right.
And in this time, you guys share the information. Nara, what are you doing other than talking to the captain?
I'm going to pull up the cameras and look at the time before the 45 minutes starts. Doing that again. Going back to
Okay.
the 45 minute where we lose feed and watching whatever is in front of that. Starting with
All
the passenger bay, and then I'll kind of like move around to the rest. Including checking my own office.
All right. So which one do you want to start with first?
The
And how far before the 45-minute time loop do you want to start?
about 20 minutes.
All right. So where would you like to start? And I know now the mark where you're at.
I'm gonna start with the passengers.
Okay. You watch Again, keeping it sped up so that you can cover the time. Nothing seems to be off or untoward. What would you like to check next?
My medical office.
You watch and you see nothing until about the last minute before the time loop starts.
Okay.
And you see yourself, and you see the captain, and you see the captain kind of wincing and holding her head. You hand her a little plastic packet that you shake up and break. And then it hits the mark and the time starts again.
Right. Next one I want to take a look at is the seed bay.
Okay. The seed bank is quiet. Nothing happening in there.
Reactor core.
You start the 20 minutes, and as you do, you watch through and you see the reactor open. At about a minute until the time mark, you see the reactor open, and you see what starts to be a figure right as it steps out. You can make out kind of an arm, and it's wearing one of the uniforms, or at least the gray shirt that you guys have on. And from what you can tell, it appears to be male. The arm is not as thick as Tane's. It's not metal. But right before you can see who it is, the time loop starts.
No one's buff like Tane. Got some scruff like Tane. No one opens up baskets of shit like Tane. No one sits in the seed bank aging. Oh god.
Your
mess
work,
hall.
Scott. What's that now?
Mess hall.
Mess hall. You watch, and just a few minutes before the time loop, you see Quentin and Tane as they enjoy an MRE. You watch as a mysterious tray not too far from them slides. It doesn't make a noise because it doesn't have audio. But you see it slide on the table, and then you see them like kind of shuffle out quickly.
So what happened last time is on the screen. Okay.
Like whatever happened there at the end is on the screen.
Cargo bay.
You see... Actually, you don't see anything in the cargo bay. Nothing seems to be happening there.
And the airlock.
You watch as the airlock... The camera seems to flicker at right about the same amount of time, that 1 minute until reset. You watch as you see Skippy appear, and then you watch as all 8 of the bays open at once. He is sucked out. The lights flicker, and everything is back to normal. Then the time loop starts.
As an ensign, Skippy has pretty much access to just about all the codes that the captain would, correct?
Pretty much, yep. Yep, he would.
Am I missing a room? Engineering office. That's the last one.
The reactor...
The reactor's same area?
It's all the same area.
Okay.
Wow, that was a smart design decision.
Where else would you put your engineers? Under your engine hat? Engineers, engine hat. Get it? All right.
Goodbye.
Disconnect.
Everybody just hangs up. Okay, cool.
Okay, bye.
Trying to think. I'm trying to think of something that only Skippy would know.
Only the real Skippy would know.
Are you the real Skippy? Just walks up and starts pushing his
What
face.
color are
Huh,
Skippy's?
it feels so lifelike.
Actually, you know what? Can you send me that information, Jason?
Send Jason send you something that only Skippy
Yeah.
would know.
Something from his background that she'd have access to via his medical records or whatever. Something he would be the only one who would know, and the only reason she knows is because she has access to everybody's files.
Like, hey, at age 9, I had chickenpox.
Or, I broke my arm jumping from a roof or some shit like that.
Man.
I got my first 2 HPV shots, but the third one I skipped out because it hurt too much.
Jesus. That's oddly specific and okay.
I feel like you're drawing from real life now.
Yeah, like,
Atlas,
Gotten an HPV vaccine because that's
Atlas, is there something you'd like to share with us?
yeah. HPV vaccines hurt like hell. You should still get them because it's good, but like they really hurt.
the more you know.
Right. Good to know.
Take that
you.
into consideration. This PSA brought to you by Direbear Adventuring Company.
Yeah.
Don't forget to spay and neuter your pets.
Yes.
All right. Skippy, Nain. The information has been shared, but you now see you saw the cargo being brought on by 2 enlisted units, and then you saw the captain hand them what appeared to be an envelope of some kind each. What else are you wanting to do?
So we can't bring this up yet.
Not yet.
No. We're in a time being stuck in a time loop with someone after you call them out is a bad
Right.
thing.
This goes on the back burner because it's unimportant if we don't get out of the time loop.
Yeah.
We can
Stuck
take care of it
time
once
is-
we're out of the time loop and arrive where we're going. We can take care of it.
Be like, by the way, heads up. Wait, could we? Where was Nara doing the cams? Could we see the cams? The stuff.
Not really.
All right, then I'm gonna start checking.
Scanning through the cams.
Yeah, because I remember Tane yelled at me, and I don't want to. I don't want to keep Tane angry at me.
You
Always keep the crazy ones happy.
do you
I
want
I like it.
I've
I like
true,
it,
though.
Jason.
They-
I like that.
They've definitely already killed me before, so
That's why you always bring the chocolate bars to work for that one guy.
To be fair,
Yeah.
One guy. And if somebody's bringing you chocolate at work, you're that guy.
Thanks for the Snickers.
Thanks for the candy bar. Fucks off. All right. What mark of time would you like to back it up to? Or how do you want to review the cameras and information there?
the same sequence we had last time.
Okay.
Like,
So
Seeing
looking
that
to
there's
see if
disturbances,
all right.
weird shimmering.
Looking through the cameras, you back it up to before the time loop, and then you back it up even further. Nothing seems to be untoward in the bridge. There's nobody on there. You check the crew bay, the crew pod area. Nothing there. Medical bay. Nothing there. You go down to the reactor core. You watch. Nothing seems to happen. The pods. Nothing seems to happen. Seed bank. Cargo bay. Mess hall. Everything you check out. Nothing is unusual. then the 45-minute time loop, or time jump. It skips to present time, or just before the present time, and then it carries on. Nothing at all. Everything seems quiet and normal, and
They didn't see what I saw.
they did not see what you saw.
Okay.
Not that you would know that, but
Nope,
yes.
not that I would know that, but I just, out of character, I just wanted to confirm that
Yeah.
that was what
Out of
happened.
character. That is what happened.
So I guess again on the no, I wouldn't send them. I would. Can I just go on the intercom to the ship?
Yeah, there is an open comm that'll just open up everybody.
All right, I'll just open comm. I think it's good news. There's news.
There's news.
Check the cameras. Nothing weird happened this time. There no disturbance. So I don't know what that means, but update off.
All right. So the voice of Nain, the science officer, hits over the intercom, telling you that he watched the cameras before the feed and everything was normal. Right up until the time skip that you've all gotten familiar with. And then showing the present time.
Okay.
Time skip still seems to take up the same amount of time.
Yep. 45 minutes.
All right, and then Skibby. I'm gonna walk over there. I'm gonna turn around. You
Okay.
check this.
Sure.
Okay.
We all checked one camera last time.
Yeah. The other times that you guys have checked the camera, you each checked individual areas on one camera.
Yeah. So I've checked all the cameras this time. All of
Okay.
them. And, I don't know. There's weird stuff with cameras. See what happens. Maybe it matters who's looking at the camera. If I don't know.
You don't think that I would derive different ideas and effects for each individual person on the ship as they appear to look at the camera?
If we're
That
all
would
getting
be
pulled
much
around
too
on a different
complex.
timeline, my timeline might not have had anything weird happening, but yours might.
This time around.
Okay. I get what you're saying. Give me sit down at his terminal, gets to work.
So I'm just gonna go over there and I'm not gonna look because observing affects the result probably.
You back the cameras up to before the time skip, and
I start my cameras at let's say the bridge for the time skip. No, let's say the reactor before the time skip. Then I lean over to Nan's computer and I set his at the same time and I watch both of them.
okay. Same location, same everything.
Same location, same timestamp.
You back it up to what timestamp do you want to back it up to before the time skip?
Whenever he vaporized himself that one time.
Okay. You back it up to, I believe it was 10 minutes. Like 10 minutes before there, or maybe 20 minutes. But anyways, you back it up to that point in time. And you run it forward. Both cameras showing the same thing. You watch as about a minute before the time skip, maybe a little less. Actually, no, it's just a few seconds before the time skip would happen. Nothing has happened in there. And you watch as the reactor door opens and something starts to step out. It looks like a person, an arm and a leg. But before you can really see who they are, the time skip kicks in.
And I've seen it on both screens.
Both screens.
Okay.
I
run it back that few seconds and time freeze it right at the step out.
All right. You pause it there.
Nan, come here.
Yeah.
What do you see on the screen?
Turn around. What do I see?
You see the room.
I see
You see the reactor core.
elven eyes.
You see it. It's Doors are shut. The reactor looks normal.
I see the reactor.
Is the captain and the doc in the room?
Yes. Nara is at her monitor looking through cameras as well. And the captain is sitting in the chair looking as though they're looking through something. Looking through like logs or something.
Captain, Doc, can you come over here for a second?
Yes, what is it?
What do you see on the screen?
Okay. Nara,
Yes.
you see the same thing that you saw before. The reactor door is paused with it open, and it looks like somebody's stepping out. The way that the camera is positioned, you can see part of the opening. The door swings away from the camera, so you're not looking at the back of the door, you're looking at the inside part of the door.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see somebody's hand like on the outside edge, like pulling themselves out, and you see their leg out, and that's like all you see is like this part of the hand on the grip on the outside and part of the leg. Now, that's what Nara sees. Captain Marilyn, as you look at the screen, your head is filled with a buzzing sound that turns into a large, sharp sound of static. The static of a television that's been on overnight. The airwaves have gone off. They've played the music. And now all it is snow. And as you watch the screen, you see the reactor, but it becomes hard to look at. And the whole thing becomes distorted. And it becomes snow. And all you hear, even though they're talking, is the sound of in your ear.
Okay. That's terrible.
Somewhere in the static, as you're watching, starts to abate. And as you are watching, just barely, almost imperceptibly, you hear iteration 45 winding down.
Okay.
And like I said, it's like
Okay. I'm just gonna brace myself for a sec and close my eyes.
the captain looks like she's about to fall over. She kind of grips the edge of the desk of the table that sets up for these comms and then kind of like braces herself. She needs some milk.
She needs some milk. I do need some milk.
Maybe a cookie would help. All right.
Go-gurt in her.
Nara's gonna.
Bye.
Or her cocaine.
Or my cocaine, you don't know.
So no. Could be a metaphor.
Nara's gonna reach up and just gently lay her hand against Marilyn's forehead. Does she feel warm?
It takes you a second to realize that somebody's actually like touching you. And no, she feels actually kind of clammy. A little clammy. A little bit of sweat like on her brow. It's not a long thing, but it does last for a couple of seconds. And then it goes and you can kind of see everybody's looking at you for a second. The camera is returned to normal, and what you see on there is the reactor door closed. Nothing seems to be out of sorts at all. You see the same thing that Nain sees. Nothing. The reactor door is closed. Everything is... But the weird thing is you can't look at it for too long because it starts to distort again. As soon as you avert your eyes, the noise and the distortion in the camera seems to stop. But anytime you try to look at it, that same noise and distortion happens.
Okay. I think I'm gonna sit down for a minute?
Of course, Captain. Nain, just out of curiosity, since this is a little bit more your department than mine, is there, a server with all the video backups on them?
Yes.
Can we go pull them all up?
All right. Wait. Hold on. First of all, not to. Did you guys see anything?
I see the reactor door open. What do you see, Nan?
All right. I didn't see anything.
Doc?
Yes, I saw the reactor door open and somebody trying to step out. Not sure who that somebody is, but they don't match your arm, Nain, as it was you said it was your left arm, that's the... Okay. And Cap, you said it was the left arm that was coming out?
It's the right arm.
It's the right arm.
Yeah, they were stepping out with their right arm. Holding
what
the edge
arm? Sorry, Pelka. Which arm is your robotic one? Your right one? Left?
Left
Just
one.
tell me.
Right.
Don't just show me a hand. Sometimes they're reversed.
It's all reversed.
Is it your right or your left?
This is my
Okay.
Carobot. It was
Alright.
made for me.
So
There are many like it, but this one is mine.
the arm was reaching out with the right, and it wasn't beefy enough to be Tane's.
Nor was the skin color one.
Nor was it as dark.
Yeah.
I didn't really see a lot in the way of freckles, but again, that's kind of hard to see because the sleeve goes up to here. But Quentin has freckles all over his body. So,
Alright.
not Quentin, which leaves...
Freckles like a Jackson Pollock painting.
So,
On my arm.
So
here's-
we don't know it's one of us,
No, but they're wearing our uniform.
but we're seeing different things.
This is what I mean by we
Which
should
is-
pull up the server, because if it has it is not cool, it is fucking weird.
When I say
establish
cool,
this.
it includes the umbrella of weird. That's what I do.
Includes the umbrella.
Okay.
Captain, what did you see?
The
Alright.
nature of science.
Nane, what did you see?
Oh, Nain.
Is that what you asked, Skippy?
No, I said Captain.
Oh, Captain.
What did you see? Because she hasn't told us yet.
Static,
Distortion? Static?
distortion. I'm just not feeling very well. I think. I don't know.
Okay.
Captain.
So at least 3 outcomes. Interesting.
So what good is it going to do us to be checking the cameras if we're all going to be seeing something different?
No. So if there's a log, right, of all of the cameras, and I don't just mean the ones that we're seeing now, right? I mean, if we can possibly pull up every single camera feed, right? Because we're only seeing what our timeline sees, but if it's the same ship, then there's a chance.
don't think I.
Hang on. Let me finish my idea, because it sounds weird, but it might actually make sense. Because if we have a server that's backing up all of these videos, right? There's a chance that it's also backing up the alternate timelines, the ones that we've already seen, that we're not seeing now.
I'm passing out.
You watch his feet. No,
Okay.
Like literally.
you literally watch as the captain is standing there looking at you, and just all of a sudden, eyes flutter closed, and she just
Can I
drops.
catch her?
Give me. Let's see. Yeah, you can try to catch her. Give me 1 second here. Gotta give me one of them sweet, sweet rolls.
Of course I do.
Like Hawaiian, like the King Hawaiian.
Oh
roll.
yes.
So sweet. So delicious.
Hawaiian rolls are good shit.
Let's go athletics. But if you notice next to athletics, you can change it between strength and dexterity. I'd like for you to swap it to dexterity and roll.
Sure. Where do I...
Athletics, and then the next thing next to athletics is a drop down that says strength. If you click on that, you can choose dexterity.
I don't see athletics. This
Oh, I'm
character
looking
sheet
at
is...
cats. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. Oops, I apologize. That was my fault. Wrong sheet. You're just screwed then. Just give me straight dexterity then. How could I miss that? You're the one that has like the fewest things on their skill sheet, honestly.
Am I really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You reach out and you grab the edge of her outfit just a
Nailed
little
it.
too late. Down she goes to the ground.
Nice going, guys.
You're doing
Her head bounces once.
Oh no!
You crack your melon on the side of the ship. There you go.
She's gonna wake up with a headache.
You think?
Thanks,
Anyway,
man.
so about the... Find out...
Just leave the captain passed out on the
No!
floor.
Hang on!
You fucking asshole.
Can I finish? Oh my god, please.
Oh, Jesus.
Nate, can you please follow up with that which I have just adjusted? I need to take care of this.
I will try to hack the timelines. I'll see what's up.
Well, maybe it may not be a case of it may not be a case of hacking.
I'm in.
It may just be a case of having to go through and find previous saves. If that, like, you're the engineer. See if it's even possible. See if it happened. If it did, great. If it didn't, then it's an idea that we have expended and crossed off the list. I need to deal with this.
Okay. I'm just gonna walk away
You're
towards.
just gonna body her up, or are you gonna get some help?
No, I'm just gonna body her up.
Sure about
Are
that?
you sure you can make it, Doc?
Yeah, my medical office is just on the hall.
Okay,
But first thing I'm going to do,
do.
first thing I'm going to do is make sure there's no injuries within the neck region before I move her.
No, her neck is fine. She just looks like she
Okay.
fell.
Then
Unfortunately, it does not a movie pass out, so you don't conveniently kind of catch yourself on your arm and lay down. You full on bodied that to the ground.
Skippy.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some science. Come
Okay.
with me.
All right.
We're going to engineer. To
The
do hacky
engineer?
things.
Yay! You're going to your office in the engineering.
Yeah. We're gonna tell them we're gonna go. Walk away mumbling. Tell me to turn it up to
Okay.
11. Hack the timelines, they say.
All right, hacker man, let's go.
Look, if it's not blood and guts, what does Doc know about it?
All right. You guys make your way down to the engineering office. You lift her and kind of drape her over your shoulder and make your way to the medical office, and you set her down on the table. Go ahead and give me just a medical check, just to make sure there's no concussions or anything else like that. Yeah, she seems to be okay other than the fact that she passed out, but she doesn't seem as though she hit her head hard enough to... Well, you'd have to check her pupil movements and things like that, but
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like she injured herself. There's no blood or anything else like that.
and actually I can check her pupils dilation now before she wakes up. So
Before she wakes up, that's true. You could. Everything seems to respond normal. She doesn't seem to be concussed or anything.
okay, I'm gonna hook her up to a monitor
Okay.
just so I can get proper readouts while it's happening.
The technology is advanced enough that where we can also see the brainwave pattern when you hook up to it.
Okay.
Her brainwave pattern is just rocketing up and down. She is, whatever's going on, her mind is moving 1,000 miles a minute. The rest of her vitals are normal. Her heart rate, O2, everything else. Everything else is fine.
I can't keep blaming this on cryo issues.
Oh, but that's your go-to.
There has to be an actual explanation for this. She's gonna pick up a clipboard and just kind of jot down some notes, like particular, because she's gonna sit there next to Marilyn, and she is just going to start introducing stimuli to see what happens.
Science.
And by introduce stimuli, I mean like certain words can sometimes stimulate somebody who's unconscious, like their brainwaves, and of course we have the technology that allows me to monitor brainwaves. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of alternate between words, starting like with her name,
Balloon.
You know, just
99.
You know for a fact she would not say 99, she would say 69. And
This is true.
Nice.
But that doesn't go with the
high
song. Anyways,
but yes, so that's what she's gonna do. She's just gonna keep introducing like stimuli, even to the point of gentle nerve stimulus.
okay.
Taser! Taser!
I'm not tasing the captain,
No!
but just like simple gentle things like you know, the reflex.
Yeah.
Me
know.
fucking watching the cameras next loop, and I see myself being tased on cam.
Yes.
Y'all really don't like
Skippy.
me right now, do you?
Skippy, the answer to your question is yes. Did we lose Pelka? Are you coming back to us?
What?
We lost you
Yes,
on roll
yeah.
20.
Oh, weird.
Oh
lost you
no, it's the
altogether.
spooky reactor
Oh,
ghost.
yeah, it seems pretty frozen.
All right.
Seems pretty frozen.
That seems broken. All right. So
That's
You
not
are
supposed to
testing
do
out
that.
different stimuli, and as you're doing this, you're not sure if it's a reaction to what you're trying or if it's just a natural reaction or whatever, but the brain activity seems to calm itself to like a you watch as slowly she kind of opens her eyes. Captain, you open your eyes and you are in the medical bay. Your head hurts a little bit. You're not sure if that's from something else, but it's a little tender, kind of on the back side of your head.
What happened?
Well, you
passed the stuff.
you passed out. And I would highly suggest that if you pass out again, to do so next to one of the guys and not me, because I cannot catch you.
It's not me being sexist, I just don't have fucking muscles, buddy.
Not that I
We're
don't
gonna
need you to
appreciate
stick
and
next to
love
the
you,
Marine.
Captain, but I literally cannot
Still
catch
finds
you if
on
you're
us,
about to
damn.
fall.
I'm gonna keep you next to the Marine at all times.
Just because my dads were in
Yeah,
the
that's a good
military
idea.
does not mean I was in the military.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
you fell, you hit your head. Captain, is there something you want to tell me? Something that you didn't share before we went on this mission?
No.
Perhaps a neurological disorder that you should have told me about?
No.
Because your brainwaves are all over the place.
I don't know what to say. No, not that I'm aware of.
Are you experiencing more stress than normal given our current situation?
Me? Is that a serious fucking question?
Are you
bitch?
serious? No. Why? Should I?
Perfectly normal.
More so, are you worried about somebody finding out something that they shouldn't? Typically,
Wow, this is a
somebody-
leading question. question.
That feels very pointed right now.
Well,
Feeling a bit called out.
look, Captain, you came over to look at a reactor core. Your skin was clammy, and then not even 2 minutes later, you're passing out nearly on top of me.
I don't see why that would suggest anything other than I'm sick.
You're not sick. You're perfectly healthy, except for some mental problem that we have yet to discover.
Again, feeling a bit called out.
Okay, I came onto the ship to have a good time, and I'm feeling really attacked right now.
You,
I think it's enough cocaine for a good time.
Skippy and Name. You guys head to the you guys head down to the engineering bay. Nara and Marilyn are in the medical bay. So Tane and Quentin, when you arrive back to the bridge after enjoying your meal, it is empty. There's no one around. On one of the view screens, frozen, as though someone were watching it, you see the reactor room, or in the engineering bay. The door to the reactor is open, and you look as though someone is trying to step out of it. Looking at the timestamp on it, you can see that it is mere moments before the 45-minute time jump.
And we both see that.
You both see that on the screen. And currently, the bridge is completely empty. You did hear, however, Nain call out that everything was fine. There was nothing
Doesn't look
unusual.
Fine.
Fine.
We're good.
He
Everything's
did
great.
call out over the intercom, and everybody heard him say that everything on the cameras checked out and there was nothing untoward.
So, like, should we panic and then, like, we find out everyone's places on the ship and it's like, oh, well, that was pointless.
Ugh. Oh god.
What are you doing? The bridge is empty.
Breaking stuff.
Quit, V.
Really?
Quit.
Stop it.
I'm not used to it.
All right.
So, okay, quick out of character question that is kind of going to bleed into in character. Is the bridge the only place where the cameras can be accessed from?
They can be accessed from most any data pad.
Oh, okay.
They're
Alright,
all
then
in
never
there.
mind.
I have a data pad.
What's that?
I have a data pad.
You do.
Wait, you said on a data pad? I have a data pad. Should
You
turn
have a
this
data
up.
pad.
Move your microphone closer to your mouth so we can actually hear you.
Okay, it's actually this headset's so sensitive. It's either you hear me breathing or I've got it too far away.
Well, that sounds like a personal problem.
Life functions are good. We're cool with that.
Hey, Vanessa, that sounds like a you problem.
Get it together.
Or
Okay,
you move it right in front of your nose.
Love
There,
you.
it's perfect.
All we hear is
I love you guys. All right.
God.
What are you doing?
But feel like we
Bridget.
have to joke despite
okay.
the seriousness of what's going on.
It's the only way to make it through.
It's the only way to make it through.
Okay.
I actually
Okay,
did
I turned to
studies on each
Quentin
and every
and-
one of you before I invited you to play, and I designed this whole game around your own neuroses.
Oh.
oh, fantastic. Honestly, though, that would be such
You
a
must
social
have had it. It
experiment.
was an
like,
OA with me.
wow.
This is my
Well,
thesis.
That explains a lot.
This is my final grade.
That certainly explains
Would you like
a
to
lot.
play a game?
Mm.
So, okay, I personally, I'm gonna turn to Quentin and just ask, what the fuck was that?
Are
Okay.
you okay?
No! I can't do accents
I'm so
today.
You're
It's
broken
gone.
today.
It's gone.
Today is not your
I'm
day.
broken. Anyways, let's try this again. Last time, did you say it was someone going in? It was Nain, right? Last time it wasn't someone coming out of the reactor.
It was
Not crazy,
someone
right? That's
leading Nail. I'm sorry, Nain in. He took the ghostly hand.
All right.
Well, it was him going
So then
in.
that's changed.
The hand
but
was
it looked-
the ghostly hand was like reaching out to close.
To me. What else
Hmm.
happened last time? Oh, I want to check the cargo bay feed because the last time I saw myself with a satchel charge, and if that didn't give me nightmares,
That is
I don't know
correct.
what would.
Tane is definitely leaning over his shoulder as he does this. He's very concerned as to why this child had a fucking satchel charge.
You run back the video feed and watch the cargo bay, and nothing untoward seems to be happening in the cargo bay. It's empty.
Not blowing
time
yourself
breath
up
plays
anymore,
through.
are we?
Breath of relief.
I definitely preferred unexploded Quentin, just for the record.
Oh, that's gay.
One of the few things for unexploded.
I'm glad you haven't exploded. Wow, how cute! That's adorable.
You look so much cuter.
You
Yeah,
look
all
so
in
much
one piece.
cuter in one piece.
I'll be sure to put my Tinder bio. Hey, I
What
prefer.
color were his eyes? They were blue.
girls.
One blew that way, one blew that way.
They were looking in two directions.
In one piece. In a one piece. Tomatoes, tomatoes.
Oh god.
Levity to keep from the seriousness of it all. This is how we stop ourselves from going completely crazy. Because
gotta have
apparently,
some-
Yeah, honestly, if this were like
I'm kind of a twisted individual. So, I mean,
Listen.
I've blown Quentin up. I've ejected him from out into the void of space. I've made Tane pretty much kill everybody,
Except
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 Quentin,
Quentin.
who just
The
wandered
one
off.
time he survives.
Who just wandered off.
I'm gonna go for a walk. Never returns. He's just doing laps now.
Tane's been haunted by the voice of his dad. Nane's being haunted by
Reactor ghost.
Something else.
who might
I
by the way,
pulled into the reactor and walked in.
Yes.
I just want to let everybody know that I was like, oh, I think that's an interesting backstory choice, Cap. And he's like, well, it might not be real. And I was like,
Uh-oh.
okay, cool. That leaves me with nothing.
Good. It's just as I planned it.
So now I don't even know what to do with Tana's backstory. It's like,
And pretty
yeah,
much-
so,
And this whole time, I've forced our poor indecisive player into the role of being the decisive one. Poor Captain Maryland. All right.
Captain.
You run the video feedback. The cargo bay is fine. Nothing is going off there.
The box is still there.
Hmm. Everything is still there.
Quentin wants to go to the cargo bay.
Okay.
I want to know what's in the box.
Okay.
The last time I was told it was classified. Last time I was told it was classified. He doesn't trust Maryland because of that line.
Why
all
wouldn't
right,
you trust
I'm
your captain?
following.
Okay, so you two
He'll
leave
listen
the
to her, but
bridge.
he doesn't trust it. It's like, now.
You...
Vanessa, don't
the
make
box
me.
has become
Do
the
not
one
make
ring.
me
Is that
start
what
a
you're
no
saying?
counter.
Don't.
Quite the MacGuffin.
My precious.
Don't.
The MacGuffin.
Stop.
It is. This will all be solved if you jettison the box.
Follows me.
Uh, yes, we need a no counter.
One of my other players on Thursday night does that to Vanessa's character in that campaign too.
Nice. All right. You head down to the cargo bay. Okay. You arrive, Nane, Skippy, you arrive at the engineering bay.
Okay.
What are you doing?
So what kind of science are we doing, Nate?
All right, are we inside the?
You are in. You are in the bay. The reactor is in its
Nothing
housing, closed. Everything seems to be normal. I mean, it's dark in here because most of the lights are off. But yeah, it's fine otherwise.
All right, we're gonna walk out. You're gonna walk in by yourself. Follow you after.
Okay.
Okay, you both walk out. Wait a second. Skippy, you walk in.
What do I see?
The engineering bay. The reactor is in its housing. You see everything seems to be normal. It's again, The reactor isn't a small thing. It's this gigantic, like, 30-sided, multifaceted thing that's suspended, and it has catwalks on multiple levels around it. The catwalk at the level that you're in opens up and has a little bridge that can be laid down so that you can get to the door that opens up. It's large enough that all 6 of you could stand in there conveniently and have a party. It is huge. It's a massive.
It's like if the Epcot ball was deadly.
Not as big as the Epcot ball, but close.
Okay, the
That's how I
Epcot
wrote it in
ball's
the
little
design plans.
brother.
Yeah.
The Epcot ball, but like smaller and more deadly.
The one thing that I would like to point out, Nain, is that while you helped design the ship, the actual power unit, the reactor itself, is not of your design.
No,
Curses.
because he'd have made it a lot cooler.
Curses.
Would have had like spikes and shit.
Spikes. What are those for? Aesthetics.
It's like a 0.8 Epcot ball, but deadly. It's cool enough.
All right.
And a swim up bar.
But yeah, you don't see anything untoward. It's dark in here, as you would expect it to be, because there's no lights on. You can see the office. His office is just off to the side, and again, like I said, it's shaped like it's shaped like the top part of like a diamond, so it's flat on one side, and the walls angle out, and it's glass all the way around, so he can see out to the tech bay or the engineering bay. But yeah, there's nothing in there at all. Doesn't seem to be anything untoward.
So I follow up in behind.
Okay, you walk in and you see the same thing. The office is there. The lights are on in the office, but everything else is quiet and dark and empty.
All right, Skippy.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be annoying. We're gonna do this one more time, and I'm gonna go first.
Okay.
All right.
Weird. We're gonna try everything.
You both step out, close the door, wait a second. You open the door first, Nain, and step in. Closing the door behind you. Are you closing the door behind you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay. Close the door. Nothing seems to be out of place. As you like, damn it.
Yeah. All right,
There's
so
a voice that's more of like a whisper on the wind. It seems to come and go just as quickly. Why me? Why? What did you expect? Why?
Why?
And at the reactor door, almost transparent, pale, translucent figure looks at you. It's her. Her eyes, those blackened, hollow mess. Tears start at the edge of the hollow, but not liquid. They're dark red blood as they drip down. You can actually hear the patter. Of the blood hitting the walkway that's there.
oh boy.
I think this begs the question of Pelka, what the fuck did you do?
He killed a hooker.
Uh-oh. Just before leaving. Ah, shit.
Gotta get it off the bucket list.
That's awful.
All right.
Oh.
Jesus. All right.
Do I know? Is he looking funny?
Have you walked in yet?
Oh, that's right. He was walking in first this time, wasn't he?
Yeah, he walked in first and shut the door.
All right. I give him a minute, then I'll open the door, walk in, and shut the door behind me.
As soon as you open the door, you hear the door behind you open. You turn kind of to glance, knowing who it is, but there's just that natural thing that we do when we hear doors and noises and things. You glance back and there's nothing. The sound is stopped. The image is faded. You walk in, and he looks a little shaken, maybe, but I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. Would Nain be shaken by this vision?
I wouldn't say shaken.
Okay.
Stirred.
Some left hand flex.
He looks at you. He looks back towards the reactor, pointedly staring at it for a second. Not long, but just kind of a.
What'd you see?
More of. Oh, damn it!
Very dry.
Sorry.
Very dry.
Uh,
Almost vermouth dry.
I don't know. I didn't see anything in particular. I thought I caught a whiff of something, but doesn't look like it's playing out like I thought it would.
How do you sense motive in this game?
Social. And if he's lying, it would be opposed to social roles. Social being the SOC, it's sustainability. It's the top of the page.
I assume no modifiers.
No modifiers.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No, he could roll worse. Want to give me a social?
Me?
Yep. He's
Terrific.
trying to suss out whether or not you're lying. He seems a bit off, but seems like he's telling the truth.
Okay.
So what I wanted to see was apparently you saw something on camera. I didn't.
Mhm.
So I wanted to see if you walked in by yourself, you would see the thing that you saw when you're here, and if I would not. But I didn't.
It's like reality is syncing up for us all, but when we look at replays of stuff, we may be seeing different timelines or whatever.
Yeah, like I want to see if the because you appeared to be seeing that timeline, whether going to that place would cause like a mini pull towards seeing it here as well as on, but doesn't seem like that's the case. I didn't see what you were saying you saw, so that's a no-go.
Mm.
So now it's time to hack timelines.
Not sure I can help you with that, but all right.
I'm not sure that there is. This sounds mostly dumb, but there's like an inkling of maybe.
Look, she said it was gonna sound weird, but it might make sense if it was actually true. She knows how
So
dumb it sounded.
So yeah, I'm gonna walk over to my my desk.
Okay, you walk into your office.
Yeah, start dibbity dabbity hacky.
You
All right.
In the door of the reactor, is there a window?
there is not.
This is really got wrong. We need to look directly in.
Yes, there is, but it's a sign above that says "Do not look directly into the reactor."
Like if we get to the point where we need to look into the reactor directly, like we'll know something's wrong well beforehand.
So what we're saying is, at this point in time, we need to open the reactor door. No,
I've been tempted.
You
Actually-
have the codes.
Before I hack, just
Okay.
Call it investigate? Like, God.
asking if we were to open, not step in, just open the door. That wouldn't. Would that hurt us? Would that impair us? I forget exactly what is charging it, but it's. I don't think it's radiation.
It is not radiation, or at least not your standard radiation that you're aware of.
This is Advanced radiation.
Radiation.
Radiation 2.
Big
So-
radiation energy.
So it's
Like, could I open it and not immediately
Die?
suffer painful degradation of my body
Or sterilization.
for being right there?
Or sterilization. Well,
So much for
it's
repopulating
not
the
like
planet.
it's not like bumping your
Well-
crotch against the microwave set on high for 2 minutes.
Sounds like my
That's
weekend
awfully
plans.
specific.
Um,
Just for future reference.
yes. Oh well, for future reference, I thought you were going to like state something there.
Oh no,
you're
I
actually-
want a future reference. Could I open the door to the obviously not step in? Step in is a bad plan,
Yes.
Plan.
but opening
But
the
you
door
wanna
could
do
be
it.
science.
Yes, you can open the door.
And I wouldn't immediately like
You know
Get
that there's
fried.
a time. You would not immediately get wafted into ash or dust.
okay.
You do know that it is not something that you want to do for
Okay.
very long. With it currently being running, but you could also shut it down and then open the door. And there is a time period that it would run. The ship would continue to run. I mean, the ship. It's the
Shutting down the ship is
but it's the basic laws of physics, which says that objects in motion will remain in motion until acted upon by another force. You are moving at
space.
Mach Jesus. You shutting down the reactor isn't like slamming on the brakes because space.
There's no air pressure or friction or
Yeah.
That's
So-
correct.
I
There's
love
no
the,
friction.
the technical description is Mach Jesus.
That's right. Mach Jesus. You will continue on in that direction until something else, like a planetoid or something, a reset,
I'm
happens.
completely uninterested in where we're going. Turn it off. I just want to.
And this clearly powers the engines on the ship, not necessarily the life support and everything else like that. It does provide power to the entirety of it. There are also redundant systems in place in case the reactor does have to be shut down. There are other systems in place that will keep the life support and the gravity. It's called gravity, but yeah, basically the gravity, on in certain places, in the same way that it does. So you can shut the reactor down and open it. You can also open it with it on. It's just not a great idea.
We'll put that in the back pocket for now
Okay.
until I figure out how to properly science that bitch.
I'm gonna open the door, Skippy, and I want you to look in there real quick and see what's there. Face me.
It's like that face
Well-
melting scene from Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm trying to avoid.
This is your Ark of the Covenant. Yes, this is exactly what happens.
I'm
Do
about
not look
to-
directly at it.
I'm about to come to mock
movie.
Jesus.
Yeah, you're about to meet Mock Jesus.
All right, so
The new scent from Axe.
all right. Time to turn
I'd
away
buy it.
from walking into the reactor and start hacking the timelines.
All right. You walk back into your office. You access the server. Go ahead and give me electronics, please. With a modifier of 2 since you are at 1 since you are at your computer. Okay, yeah. You find the server bay easy enough. You have the code, so you don't have to like hack into the server. You access the logs. Oh, what are you looking for? How do you want? Well, tell me what you're wanting to do.
I think the way I want to is to. I'm assuming it like you can search by date. So I'm gonna look up the date right of the 45-minute loop.
Okay.
And so is there only one date?
There is.
One file for that date.
There is only one file from that date starting all the way back to the beginning. There's only one file date.
Okay. Ooh. About looking for.
It records on a 24-hour period.
All right. I'm just gonna.
And let's pop quiz back to the first episode, since we're on episode number. Right? How many years have you been in transit?
500?
5?
Oh,
120.
120 years.
Is that right?
Oh, it was. Oh, okay, I remember when 5 years was.
5 years from when the klaxons went off, but they went off on time, but it was 5 years that you,
Later.
like, 5 years later. Skippy, yes. I can't respond to you for some reason when I try to hit, like, the /whisper and I do your name, it can't find the air quotations.
Let me go take those off and see how it works.
Yeah.
So. So wait. So what is the date of the 45-minute time skip? Years ago? 5
No.
years ago?
Nope, current date.
Current date.
Mm-hmm.
Can I go back 5 years and check
You may.
same day?
Yeah.
Do that.
You go back 5 years to the date, and the video feed is there for you to watch.
We're gonna watch it. Can I put up multiple screens? I'm assuming.
In here it's only the one monitor. Well, I mean, you have like several monitors, but
The engineering of a chip, and I have one monitor.
no, you have multiple monitors, but just like there's not like a big view screen. There's not like a big HUD. You
One
have
of them is your gaming monitor.
Yeah.
Of course.
you it's you don't get to multitask that way.
Okay.
It's against policies.
Says
Alright,
the
so
one
but
who
just
brought on
pull
a
up.
illegal crate. Yes, policy, my ass.
Excuse me?
We're getting saucy up in here.
So I'm gonna pull up many of the parts of the ship as we've been observing so far. The cargo bay, sea bay, bridge, and all that, and just go through that day and see.
Okay.
What's on the cameras that day?
You watch as you look through. It's going to take you a while because we're talking about a 24-hour period.
Well,
So
yeah.
Are
okay.
you looking?
so
Are you looking for the just specifically like where the time jump is?
Yeah, just like that hour or so. The things leading up to the time skip.
All right. The ship seems normal. As you watch, the klaxons go off. You kind of click over to the crew pods. You see all of you waking up. You see all of you at the same time moving towards the bridge. You watch as you're standing at the bridge and you're pointing at something. Remember, there's no audio. The captain is making motion, pointing towards the navigator. The navigator nods and starts adjusting things. Captain then points towards the medical officer. Medical officer stands, nods, gives a salute, and leaves the bay. It leaves the bridge. You see the Marine leave the bridge as well. The ensign is busy working with something, and you see yourself shouting. Luke, your mouth is moving, in an animated manner. Your hands and your gesticulations, you're moving very animated, like you're yelling at something, yelling at the captain about something. And then the captain says something back to you, not yelling, but just quietly. And then you see yourself kind of nod and move off camera out of the bridge. So the only people on the bridge at this point in time are the captain, the ensign, and the navigator.
Gonna
Okay.
see what goes on here, presumably for at least another 45 minutes.
You watch as the Marine comes back, carrying a vac suit. Actually, I'm sorry, dressed in the vac suit. Comes back in dressed in the vac suit. The very suits that you use to, step out.
Mag boots.
You see the navigator stand, run over, and there's a moment where they kind of pause and look at each other, and then you see the navigator embrace the Marine, and the Marine relaxes into it. They step back and look at each other, and you see the Marine kind of reach up and move his thumb underneath the eye. Fuck you, Jason. You see the Marine move his thumb underneath the eye of the navigator, apparently wiping away a tear or something like that. And you kind of see them smile at each other. The Marine says something to the captain. The captain stands, gives a very solemn nod and a salute that she holds while the Marine leaves the room. You watch as the medical officer comes back in and is nodding or shaking her head at the captain. The captain puts two fingers to her head, makes a decision, and says something. The medical officer looks poleaxed, stunned. The captain points to her firmly like this. The medical officer swallows and nods her head and leaves the bridge. The navigator is looking at the screen, and you can see the back of his head as he sits back down again. You can't see, but you see the captain turn to look. So you think maybe that the captain said, or that the navigator said something, and the captain turned and looked. Now the captain's face is positioned in such a way that you really can't make out what she's saying, but she seems to be talking to him. You see his shoulders kind of slump. He nods his head. Are you going to continue to watch the bridge, or would you like to look at any other cameras?
Other camera.
Okay. Which one would you like to watch?
Wait. Who left the bridge so far?
Right now on your feed on the bridge, the only people there are the captain, the ensign, and the navigator.
Okay.
The medical officer came and went, came back, and went out again. The Marine did the same thing, went out, came back, and went out again. And the only people that are on, and you left earlier. You saw yourself get into an argument or some kind of verbal altercation, and then you left.
All right. I'm going to quickly tab over to the colonist bay.
Okay.
And see if there's anything notable there.
All right.
If there's someone moving around or not.
Yeah, you see the medical officer.
Doing what?
She is currently in Life Pod Bay 1, so the Life Pod Tube 1, and she is checking the vitals on several of the colonist pods, or on several of the pods that you assume they're colonist pods. You watch as she takes her data pad and she starts tapping on one of them, and then she reaches out and taps something on the front, and they light up as you enter the data pad. You watch as it shows it kind of, there's a little bit of an illumination on there, and then all of a sudden it goes dark. And you watch as she does this to a few others, or no, she does this to one of them. And then you watch as she moves out of that life pod, that tube, into another tube. And as you're watching, she does the same thing to another pod. And the light on it that illuminates goes dark. You can't see the front of the tube from where the camera's positioned at, because it's like this. And the pods are like are all around. So,
all right.
But you see. You
Change
watch
camera.
that. Okay. Where to now?
The airlock?
Okay. You see the airlock as you watch the Marine there in the airlock. And you see the vac suit on. You watch as the lights turn on, letting you know that it's depressurizing that room. And then you watch as the outer door opens and the Marine steps out.
There's no cameras to the outside, if I remember correctly.
No, they're not.
All right.
He doesn't jump or anything else, but he has on the full suit. You watch as he kind of puts one hand up on the door and kind of like steps out of the airlock. Looks like he's going to go around. Remembering earlier when they went out and checked the airlock, or checked the outside of the ship, it's kind of like that. It looks like he was stepping out of the ship to go look at something or to do something.
Mag boots.
Mag boots!
Mag boots.
Promised.
Go to the med bay.
Nothing is in the med bay at this time. The cameras are empty and blank.
I guess I'll just flip cameras until I find medical officer.
Medical officer, as you're like flipping through the different locations, or what?
Just flipping through stuff trying to find them.
Well, medical officer was in the life pods in the.
Oh right. You're all right.
Okay. Where to now?
Engineering, I guess.
All right. You see yourself enter the engineering bay. You see you run into your office where you disappear off of camera. You can't see anything. You then reappear a few moments later, and you've got on. It's like a version of a suit, but without the helmet piece, without the headpiece on. But it looks like it would protect you from something. It's not a vac suit per se, but it's something kind of like that. And you watch as you run over. You stand at the reactor door. You wait for a second. You kind of hesitate, like you're waiting. You can see the back of your own head and body, or almost profile, but kind of more the back and head. And as you watch, you open the reactor door. You don't climb inside, but you open the reactor, and then you watch, though, as you take your very familiar tools out of your pocket. You reach into the reactor housing, and you start to mess with something in there. You're like, pick up one tool, put it down, take out another one, and you reach into the reactor. You can't really see what it is. As you're doing this, the light from the door of the reactor grows brighter, and then it seems to dim. And as you're watching the camera, it's so dark in there that it's like there are no lights on at all in the engineering bay. It is really eerie, because while it's dark, you're still silhouetted by some sort of weird light, kind of giving you like a silhouette outline, but there's no light in the room.
Go back to the bridge. Is the power weird there?
Power seems normal there. As you're watching, you see something like where it's positioned at. You can kind of see the heads-up display or the view screen from the outside of the ship. And you see not a star, but like an odd pinpoint of light, not pinpoint, but an odd like ball or odd shaped orb of light that appears in front of the ship.
Space Ghost.
Coast to
Coast
coast.
to
Coast to coast. I'm so
Cool.
glad we're all nerds.
Yeah.
I know.
What camera are you flipping to?
What I'm gonna do is flip forward 24 hours.
Okay.
From that point and see if what's going on there.
Let me get my notes real quick. All right.
Asking the good question.
I know, right? And I gotta my fucking light on so I can see.
So wait, did my idea actually fucking pan out here? Possibly?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I think yes, but like not at all how you thought it would work.
Look, as long as the idea is actually coming to fruition and it's not just a wild goose chase, I'm happy, whether it worked out the way I wanted it to or not.
Watching the same videos, the same timestamp and everything, it seems to play out almost the same. Almost the same. This time you watch as you run to the reactor and you don't hesitate. You throw it open and you jump in. You like literally not literally jump, but you climb into the reactor. There's a second and the door swings closed. You watch as the Marine goes to the airlock, and as soon as the doors are open, you watch as one hand is placed on there and he leaves again. But this time, when you were watching the bridge, because you were watching the whole thing, the interaction between the Marine and the Navigator are a bit different. The Navigator, instead of embracing the Marine, is yelling at him, or at least very animated in their movements and gestures, and are pointing a finger into the chest of the Marine and like doing his hands like this, and just it looks like he's berating him. This time, whenever he goes to kind of wipe the tear, the Navigator slaps his hand down and turns away angrily. The captain and the ensign are doing that thing where you're trying not to watch things happen, but you can't help it because you're in the same room.
So
they're both looking busy.
We're just like kind of side-eye eating popcorn at the same time.
Ooh,
So
Right. Ooh,
Ooh, bitch. You watch as the medical officer is checking the pods again, but this time you're not sure because you weren't really paying attention to which pods it was, but it seems like maybe different ones. You also see, as you watch the crew in the bridge, so the captain, the ensign, and the navigator, you watch as the ensign stands and points at the captain, and there's a heated conversation between the two of them. And you watch as the navigator stands and looks completely surprised at the captain, like in shock.
apparently I'm an asshole. I don't know.
okay. So assuming this continues like this,
Mm-hmm.
I want to not fast forward. That would take a long time, years.
I mean, you are fast forwarding, but I mean, you can. You don't
What?
fast forward. You just bring up dates and.
I want to bring up same time frame 5 days ago from where we are now.
Okay.
5 days instead of 5 years or whatever it was.
Okay. You watch as the scene unfolds, and again, this time it's very different.
Okay, that's what I thought. Good. Not
You watch as the captain and the ensign are having an argument. The navigator is making adjustments. You go to the reactor and you have one of the Marines' pistols in your hand. When you open the reactor door this time, you pointedly aim the pistol at the door, at the reactor inside, and you watch as you unleash a volley of fire at the reactor. You watch as the Marine is standing at the airlock, no mag suit, nothing, or no vac suit, nothing.
Shit.
And
No.
you can see it barely visible, but you can look at his face and he is completely shaken, broken down, with shoulders slumped, head down, hits the button on the side. The doors, you see the lights spin up. The door opens and he's just sucked out into the void. You look back and see the ensign and the captain, and this time the ensign has what looks to be a rifle in his hand. Points it at the captain. The captain holds her hands up, and you watch as the ensign fires.
Well, that escalated quickly.
The navigator is terrified looking as the ensign takes the rifle and puts it down, points to the captain, and then points to himself.
I'm the captain now.
What's Skippy doing in this time?
Oh boy.
Is Skippy watching the video with you?
No. Hilarious.
I didn't think you were. I thought you were somewhere else. You were doing your own thing over there.
Oh,
Not
You-
really all that much time, but
missing the
I
show.
can just hear Vanessa having an existential crisis.
What's happening?
Fuck.
Skippy, what are you doing while he is watching all?
poking around, seeing when I was in engineering. It's probably not an area I've been in that much.
All sorts of cool tools and things that you can find that people would work on. Space tools.
Space tools.
Really quick, nobody do anything plot relevant. I gotta pee.
Okay,
And we solve everything.
Atlas is going. I'm gonna go too. Actually.
I'm gonna go find both of them and put them into
Rick?
the airlock. And
Right now.
right now,
Eventually,
Everybody, I'd like to
eventually
call
I'll
a
wander
meeting.
into his office.
Everybody, I'd like to call a meeting to the airlock. To the airlock area, please come. They get there, and you're the only one in a vac suit. You just hit the button and say, "What the hell is this?"
Yep.
And then everybody's just sucked out into
Yep.
space.
Goodbye, everyone.
It
All right.
gives me the greatest pleasure to say that I'm the only one that brought a gun.
Honestly, me though.
Jason knows what that's from. Robot Chicken, how I love you.
Yeah, but let's be
I-
honest here. If anybody finds her stash of guns and one of them is like basically a machine gun, somebody
No,
had
it-
to
it
just
was-
roll a chair forward with a note on it that says, "I have a machine gun now."
Have a machine gun now. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh,
You have to say it
y'all.
in his voice, though. I have a machine gun now. Oh, oh.
Oh my. This
Just remember, that's
There-
not a Christmas movie. It is the Christmas movie.
The Christmas movie. As you were looking around, he's looking at the bank of monitors on his desk. That really kind of make up the desk. His face has gone through several different expressions.
Jeez, I put your boy.
What?
That's just a quick
Reactive
little motorcycle
spinning
going through to the ship.
Yeah, it's just
Somebody just
Who
joyriding down the hall.
motorcycle?
Sorry, that's my bike, y'all. That's my bike.
Who brought the fucking motorcycle?
What's up? It's the captain.
Vanessa, is that the construction on your roof?
No.
Mm-mm.
Who did
Why
that?
would they be driving a motorcycle on my roof?
It's literally a motorcycle driving down my street.
Oh! Okay.
Yeah.
No, that guy finished a long time ago. Gomez isn't barking anymore.
All right. You can see lots of tools in the room. All sorts of devices to work on things.
Kitty, hi. Okay, sorry, carry on.
Moment's over. Good.
And we've lost.
Names, face goes all over his
We've
face.
lost the captain.
That's it.
You're watching his expression changes. Yes,
That's
his
it.
expressions change from mild observation, a bit of shock, a bit more shock. Yeah, he seems to be whatever he's watching or doing in there. It's intense at moments.
Seems a little bit.
Rifling my brain.
I'll wander in there and see what he's watching.
Excuse me.
The ensign walks up while you're watching year 5 of the same date. Are you watching? You're watching right up until where the timestamp would be, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you found?
Whew.
How can I put this? Chicanery.
So I think we have been repeating for 5 years straight. Not
Okay.
100% sure. We kind of checked the beginning and checked the end. So we need to check the middle to make sure. But I think we've been doing this for a long time.
The middle of what?
Like the middle of the 5 years.
Okay.
I checked 5 years ago, and the alarms did go off, but didn't go off for us. Up to 5 days ago, the last reset that we don't remember, and complicated. A lot of stuff happened. I am no closer to figuring out how do we stop this. I may have to.
Just spit it out, man.
I think we all got sort of killer or suicidal, murderous and or suicidal right before we stopped remembering.
Did it seem like we were remembering before?
So
This is a break in there somewhere where we stopped.
there's a break, and the day before the break, so the last day that we can't remember, I walked up and just started shooting into the reactor with a gun, which doesn't make much sense unless I think there's an invisible alien in there, which doesn't seem likely.
There's no sun coming out of there.
I mean, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna scan just to see because that's as
Was
good
your
a lead as I've
arm-
got.
Was your arm on the correct side every time?
What?
Was your arm on the correct side every time?
I wasn't paying particular attention.
I think you would notice that.
We
Quick
started
question.
off,
Oh, sorry.
and the Marine Tane was checking stuff outside and Vex, and then 5 days ago, just ejected themselves to death.
Just space themselves.
They just walked up and opened the airlock. Immediately became a popsicle.
Doing this.
Quentin was waving a gun at the captain,
No,
Or wasn't that?
Nope.
Skippy.
That was an emotional
Oh.
wreck.
Oh, you
Skippy
were.
had the gun,
Oh, okay. Very
and it was one of the rifles that you've seen before.
okay. So yeah, you're waving cocaine rifles at the captain.
It just fires bullets made of cocaine.
A real pick you up and put you down kind of gun.
Jesus.
And yeah, things really just
Escalated.
yeah, had gone to hell pretty bad. I'm still like I'm mostly really confused by me just shooting a gun into the reactor because again that going crazy and violent with others makes some sense no matter what, but shooting a gun into the reactor is just weird. But so it seems like we have record of all the days that we have recycled, tried. It seemed like the 5 years ago, what would be the first day, we were fairly organized and we had a plan. Actually, I'm just gonna turn right back to the cameras and go back, not 5 years, but 5 years in one day back. And check around the same.
Oh, so you're checking prior to the alarms going off?
Prior to the klaxon.
All right.
So we seemed like we woke up and had an idea of what the hell we're doing.
Something, we've been trained to do this.
We were competent at the time.
5 years and one day. You watch as the klaxons go off.
Okay.
No, wait, I'm sorry. 5 year and 1 day. No, I apologize.
Okay.
Everything is
I was
quiet.
like, oh, fuck!
Yes, it's been happening for 120. No, if 5 years and 1 day, there's nothing. It's quiet.
Oh.
Check the log. Have you checked the logs to make sure the time skip is in this recording?
I've been checking up to skip, so let's do that. Let's go forward to the first day, quote unquote, and check right up to the presumed time skip.
Okay. At the time skip, so you were watching prior to that. You watch the airlock. You see the door, starting with the airlock, because that's what initially kind of set you off on it. You watch as the door opens and a boot starts to enter. Then the time stops. You go to the engineering room. You watch as you finish up whatever it was you were doing with the reactor. There's a bright flash fills the room. And then there's a time skip. You watch the bridge. This weird kind of orb has grown larger in size. There's a bright flash fills the entirety of it. And there's a time skip. You watch as the medical officer who is in the life pods looks up as though a reaction to something. And the time skips. You watch the mess hall. There's nothing going on. The time skips. You start to look through all of the different areas. And wherever there was light that could get in from an outside source, you see that bright flare up. Otherwise, it's just the time jump.
Okay. So the light was coming from outside.
Whatever was making this, it was kind of a combination, because the bright light that you first saw came from the reactor room itself. As you're watching the feed go forward, you kind of finish whatever it was you're doing, and then it's just, it engulfs the entirety of the camera. From the view screen that looks outside, that little orb of light grows huge and engulfs the entirety of the camera's view. Except for maybe right at the edges where, like, you can see the bridge. But
All right.
The entirety of.
Can I now? I'm now going to check the logs, make sure, like, see if everything is running as originally planned with the reactor.
Okay.
Is it
You're trying
operating
to check to
as
see
expected?
if it's operating normally, within the normal. All right. Go ahead and give me an engineering check, please.
Engineering.
Yep. Sorry, I'm not trying to ignore everyone else. Tane and Quentin. You were in the bridge, and then you decided to go to the cargo area.
Yeah.
All right. You have arrived at the cargo area while all of this is, before all of this really started to unfold. You enter the code in the door, you wait, and whenever you're given the green light, you step into the cargo bay. Everything seems cold, which is expected. I mean, this had no life support or anything in it. How many cats do you have? Jesus. It's like a magic trick. You just start pulling them out of everywhere. Cats,
They all wanted to come
doves.
say hi. This
All
is
right,
about the time they wake up for the day.
It's cold, but that's to be expected because, like I said, there was no life support in here, no gravity until you enabled it. It's actually a little colder than what you would expect, though, because you can actually see the vaporization of your breath in the air. It's like your skin is prickling. It's pretty cold in here. Not void of space cold, but damn close.
Oh boy.
It's like nose hairs freezing cold. Like, yeah, you've instantly have the sniffles. It's that moment where you're like, it starts for no reason. It's just, I'm cold.
In a really cold place, especially in the winter, step outside and your nose hairs literally like freeze. Like you're trying to like move your nose and you can't because they're like.
All right, you are looking at the cargo bay. It's cold.
It's cold. Fantastic.
Your teeth are starting to chatter.
Oh.
Just hold on to your local buff marine for warmth. That's fine.
His skin is cold too.
Whoops! Oh no, Tane's dead.
No, not dead.
Just a meat popsicle.
Meat popsicle. Yeah, pretty much.
Boy.
Are you human? No, I am a meat popsicle.
That's right. All right. What are you doing here in the cargo bay?
I just want to check the box and then probably leave if it's so cold.
The box is still there. Looking at it, you can see that there are tacks that have been removed from it. Not all of them, but a portion of them, enough that you could actually swing the box open, the lid open.
Can I actually, with my strength?
Yeah, no. Yeah, you can swing the lid. You can swing the crate, the wooden crate, off. You can't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you'd have to know the code to actually like unlock it, but yeah, you can swing the crate lid open.
Okay. All right. There's a freaking code. Forgot about that. Shit.
If I'm not mistaken, though, you should have. I think you have electronics on your skill sheet.
I do.
As an navigator, I
pretty sure
hope so.
seem to care. So, yeah, I do.
Excellent. You can definitely try to use electronics and see if you can hack-a-do into it.
Crosswalk?
If I can hit a button, what's happening? Why is nothing?
That's
showing?
on you.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna try it. I was like looking at the screen and I was like, why is nothing popping up? What's happening? Okay, no modifier. Oh,
Not bad.
bad.
It takes you a lot longer than it took the science officer.
I'm just like smacking buttons. It's beeping at me. Shut up.
But after a few moments, you realize that someone may have actually accessed this panel before.
Oh.
You take a few moments, and with some skillful keypad marking, you unlock the cargo, or you unlock the box.
Do I notice, like, I know what's in it now. I see it now.
Well,
But,
you don't know because you've unlocked it. You haven't
Oh, yeah,
opened
that's true. I will open it then. Is it good?
it. You open open it, and it's like a big. Imagine like a gigantic, or not. Imagine a square deep freeze.
Okay.
With a lid that closes and opens like that.
Yep.
It's like that. It's not a freezer, mind you. It's not a freezer itself, but it's kind of shaped like that. As you open it, inside you see boxes of what appear to be medical labels. Boxes of, as you open the box, it's like pills inside of their packets. And you're not you know medicine.
I don't know. Should have just one of these.
You don't know what they are, but they seem to have like the names of something written in, the medical term for it. And there are hundreds of these boxes stacked on top of each other.
Oh boy.
And on top of that, next to that, in another larger area, is more bags, like plastic Ziploc bags, and inside of them are more what looks to be pills, different kinds. Some are round and white, some are capsules, and they're kind of pink and blue, and you see all sorts of different things like that. And then you also see what appears to be bundled up packets of, you may know what this is. It's some kind of grass or plant.
Ah!
And it's like the leaf and like some kind of seed pod or something like that. And it's all bundled up nicely, and it's kept in there. And it's cold inside the box. Not depth of space cold, but cold. It's not space cold, but it's cold. That's our mark of temperature. It's not Kelvin.
And they're like some of them are labeled?
None of the bags are labeled, but the boxes have labels on them.
Oh god.
And it is filled to the top with that stuff.
Oh.
And yes, before anyone asks, that is not what was in the box last time.
No. Sir, no ma'am. Okay. What are the boxes labeled with?
You're gonna make me look at
I am.
How dare we ask a question?
Oof.
The audacity.
How dare you?
Shit, I just realized both Tane and Quentin are probably still, like, they're not dressed.
Uh-huh.
They've got nothing but
Tanner's like sitting there like, can we leave soon, please? Please.
fingers are turning blue, lips are turning blue.
He's like,
red.
I'm fine. Take your time. It's all good. I'm all good.
Fine. Just like huddled. Oh god.
Some of them are labeled with basically what shortens down to OxyContin. Some are labeled with morphine sulfate tablets. So it's painkillers.
Opioids, bitches.
Hey.
Them's poppy seeds, motherfucker.
Take a box of those and you won't shit for years.
Oh no.
Heavy opioid use, that's what happens.
Boy. Oh no.
It appears to be all sorts of fun illegal substances. Well, sure they're legal if you have a prescription for them.
More or less.
Just maybe.
More or less.
Since it's okay, I'll remember that. I'll probably forget in a second. I want to grab a couple, like just like two of the baggies, like two different, because you said some of the baggies
Sure.
were filled with different
Some of
stuff.
them are like round white tablets. Some of them are capsules. Some of them appear to be like the long elongated tablets. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Okay.
they're not round, but they're long like a capsule is, but they're not a capsule. It's an actual tablet.
Okay. I'm gonna take two random baggies.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna like hold on to them for now.
They're pretty big. They're pretty hefty.
Oh shit.
Not I mean, they're talking like garbage bag size. They're like the quart size Ziploc bags.
Oh, okay. I'll just open them then, and I'll grab a couple of them, and I'll just hold on to them. I'm not gonna do anything with them. I'm just gonna like hold them in a fist.
Yeah, they're in their own individual bags inside of the bigger bag, so you can grab a few of them out.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take them to Nara after.
Wait, and just out of curiosity, do you know what those are? Do you know what you're doing at all?
No.
All right.
Nope.
Fine by me.
Just
You want to take two of these and one of these, or two of these and one of these. All right, so you have pills.
You have acquired pills.
You have acquired. Nara.
Yeah.
Marilyn, you're still in the medical bay. What are you guys doing?
Well, I'm trying to figure out what the hell is wrong with the captain. Because this bitch acting crazy.
This bitch cray.
No, you don't have any history of mental issues. There's nothing in your family history. Seems to be an effect of whatever's taking place here. You generally feel it's the stress, Marilyn.
Yay.
Captain, I have to ask, do you normally make decisions?
Pardon?
Captain, do you, Captain?
Or do you fly by the seat of your pants?
Are you normally the person who is relied upon to make decisions in high-pressure situations? Or are you the person that they come to when everything is fine and you can take your time to evaluate a situation?
Oh, I literally thought you were basically saying, do you suck at your job?
Oh, I mean, she kind of still is, but like...
What kind of captain are you is the better question. Are you one that works well under pressure, or are you one that does better when you have a moment to look at the situation and think, Jesus, that was worded poorly? So, do you suck at your job, or are you just... Is it just this situation that makes it seem like you're inept?
Fuck you. Guy.
First of all, second of all,
I'd like to say that I perform just fine. Why?
What have you heard?
Well,
what have you heard?
Who's been throwing shade?
Well, if you're not hiding anything and you've been completely honest with me, that would then therefore leave that stress is the only, I guess, not mitigating, extenuating circumstance here. Which means that, well, you're having to make decisions on a quick turn basis without having all of the information laid out in front of you could actually be causing you more damage than good.
As my mom is fond of saying, your cheese is sliding off your cracker.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I don't think one has a choice at the moment. We don't have the time to go through details and pore over them and determine the best course of action. So, if this is what it means to be under pressure, then I guess it's something I'll have to deal with.
Captain, I would agree with you, but I can't have you just passing out on me at every time that's a decision that comes up that is just too much for you to handle.
Captain, I will say that in all of your years being in the Navy and piloting smaller vessels and things like that, first time you've ever passed out.
Okay.
That wasn't you, like, being knocked unconscious or falling prone to G-force.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Nara, before you make any assumptions on my ability to do my job, I'm going to continue what I've been doing before, and you can focus on the rest of the crew if that's all right with you.
It's not, but do as you please.
It's not, but like, all right.
Good, because it wasn't really a question.
Well, remind me, the next time you pass out, I'll leave you where you are.
Ooh.
First the Marine, now Doc.
So,
Does
if you're
nobody
feeling-
understand rank or anything? Like, everybody's just like, I don't know how to shut my mouth.
What? I mean, medical officer can tell you. They're the only one who really can. I think you're on. I think that's how that works.
But,
Everybody else can pretty much shut the fuck up. Yeah,
If,
but the medical officer can go, you're not doing well.
But if you think that you're fine, then let me just unhook you, and you can head back to the bridge and continue to coordinate while we wait for our 45 minutes to tick down.
Which it's closing in on that time.
And then Nara's gonna just get everything off and wait for the captain to leave her office, because she's not leaving the medical bay.
I'm
Alright.
gone.
Captain marches out in a hub. Where are you heading to, Captain?
This whole ship sucks.
I'd like to call a meeting to the airlocks if everybody would join me. Hey,
Somebody
Captain, why are
bring
you
a
in a back
trumpet.
suit? No reason.
I'm so close,
Mad
honestly.
codes.
Okay.
No.
Code blue, every one of you. Just
Do I have a sleeping space or like a
yeah,
room?
you do. You have your own room.
Okay.
You each have your own cabin.
Okay, I'm just gonna go to my cabin and just like be away from people for a minute. 'Cause I'm about to choke everyone out.
Oh.
Quentin's like, I'm just doing my job!
I'm just trying my best.
You enter into your cabin. You're looking around. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for, or are you just gonna go in there and fume in the middle?
Do I have any like paperwork or documentation or anything?
Sure.
Would
I
be
mean,
hanging
yeah.
around. I could leaf through.
Yeah, there is all of the orders that come along with the ship. It's most of it's been moved from paper to paperless. But you can, peruse the data pad to look at, your current orders and all the staff information, the crew information, the colonist information, all of that.
Okay.
If you would, if there's anything that you'd like to pour over in particular, let me know.
I'll just do crew information.
Okay.
Pick a random thing.
All right. Are you looking for anything in particular, or just perusing the information on them? I mean, it has information about their how they did for testing, and as far as like being approved to go on the ship, on the ship and on the trip and on this colonization exploration thing. It talks about a bit about their background, like where they're from, their marks in school, how they did with, college and for most of them the military academy. They're all exceptional. The only one that did not go through military academy of some sort would be the medical officer, who was actually a civilian who was hired on by the NWC to fill that role, which is not uncommon. It's pretty common to have one person who is non-naval, generally the medical officer, because the rest of it ties directly to the ship, whereas they are directly tied to the people, and they want that, I wouldn't say humanization, but that outsider viewpoint. You know what I'm saying? Not that you're all driven by the naval, but you're Navy people, with the exception of the Marine, who's a Marine, but still the same thing. You're military people, have that mindset.
Now, Nara is a military brat. Both of her parents are retired military, but she herself is not military.
Right, but she also would have not the same mindset as someone who is within that rank and file. You have some of the mannerisms, like keeping things neat and tidy, keeping things in order and things like that, but there's still a humanization factor to it. Not to say that Navy is dehumanized or military is dehumanized, but if you're walking through a crowded spot in today's time, you see someone who is military, I can instantly recognize that they've had some time in a military outfit. Anyways, you're looking over it. Every one of them are outstanding in their particular fields. When I say outstanding, there isn't much higher that you can do in marks, and we lost Atlas, it looks like.
What?
You're not on.
Check your roll 20.
There.
Every one of them is of the highest rank that they can get. They all topped out in their class.
Okay.
They didn't just put scrubs on your team. These people are all like the highest ranking or the highest skilled, qualified individuals who were also perfect for separating from their family and things like that. Either they had no ties, but no immediate family, like a spouse or anything else like that. They may have had, they still had mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters and family and things like that. But it was a situation of these would be the most likely candidates to be gone and realize that their family won't be living when they land.
Yeah.
But yeah, you pour over the records, and that's what you see. As you are looking over the records, you kind of pinch the bridge of your nose because all of the words start to kind of swirl together. They become almost a foreign language. You pinch the bridge of your nose, kind of, squeezing your eyes shut, and look at them again, and they've returned to normal. And as you're looking at the data pad, you realize that you see your own reflection in the pad. You're kind of looking at yourself, and it's almost like you don't recognize yourself. I mean, it's you. You know who you are, but it's that moment where you look at yourself with a new haircut for the first time, and you're like, "Oh, that's new and interesting." And again, that staticky sound of iteration 45, but it's kind of faint, far off in the distance. Squelching through a staticky sound that's playing just at the back of your eardrums as though distantly whispered in another room and just picked up enough through the air vent that you can hear it. Iteration 45 spinning up again.
Huh. Okay.
And it's like I said, it's not clear. It's not someone standing next to you saying this to you out loud. It's far
Yeah.
away and faint, almost as though you have to kind of look around to make sure you're not hearing things, although you know clearly you are hearing things.
Okay.
All right. Tane, Quentin, are you heading back to the medical officer? Or the med bay?
Yeah, I'm very happy to get out of that cargo.
Yeah, it's full. You've both got full NHO right now. You just right through the t-shirt. It's nice and cold as you enter back into it. It's a much warmer, much more comfortable range in the temperature. You make your way back up. You watch as you.
I was just going to say, as I walk, I use Quentin's armpits as hand warmers.
Just like walking around.
I'm
just,
like walking
covered in-
behind him like that. Yeah.
Beautiful.
You arrive at the hallway leading towards the bridge with the medical bay on the left. You watch as the captain not really storms, but marches very pointedly out of the room. Heads across to where the cabins are and then disappears. You look in and see the medical officer with that look right there. That one that Maddie's doing right this moment.
Everything all right? Hey, med officer.
Nothing you need to worry about. What can I do for you?
All right. I'll take that. I'll take that as an answer. Any new development?
We'll know more once we talk to the science officer. He was checking on something when the captain collapsed.
Ah,
Collapse?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you were getting food when that happened.
Yeah, we were just like.
we've been on a little adventure.
I'm not sure exactly what her problem is. None of the tests are showing anything. She doesn't have an issue, like a history of a mental thing that has come up. So she is excessively stressed, and I'm going to ask that despite the situation, we try and alleviate as much of her stress as we possibly can, because I cannot be constantly worrying about people on this ship passing out from fucking stress. Or I'm gonna pass out from stress.
So you want us to captain for the captain?
Just, if you can make, you know what, no, just if there's a decision that needs to be made. Oh my god, why is there another motorcycle?
That's the captain in her cabin just being angry.
She's very angry.
Harley sounds.
No, it's more that if there is a decision that needs to be made, make sure you bring all of the facts to the captain so that it makes her job a little bit easier.
Oh.
You're not captain for the captain.
All right, Quentin, I'm going to leave the facts to you because, frankly, I'd rather more.
All right. You present your findings.
I'll drop them in front of her. I'll just be like,
Just
I found these.
down this.
What are they in individually marked bags?
They are not in individually marked bags, but they're in individual bags. You'll see like two of the white tablets.
What these are?
They are.
Hip.
They're not. Okay, so here comes the guy who helped his mom study for all of her medical stuff whenever she was becoming an RN. You can find out what they are because the way that they make the pills is that they're going to be stamped with something. They're not the name. Sometimes they do have the name, but they're usually stamped with something, and the shape of it makes them identifiable by using one of the drug books that you can find. Now, the chances of you finding out what it is without it being... It's going to take a lot of research, but generally you can take some time to look at it. But just at a glance, you probably wouldn't know. You can give me a medical check and see if maybe you can, if you roll high enough, maybe you can identify what they are. Given your proclivities, I will say that you recognize them as a heavy dose of different types of painkillers or other muscle relaxers and things that are a high commodity for individuals who are looking to ease the pain.
So it's a high dosage of opioids or opiates.
Mm-hmm. Different forms, different types, but yeah, that's what they are.
Quentin, where did you find these?
In a box.
In a box.
I got them in a box.
Found out what's in the box.
Drug Crate. Subscribe monthly.
Not affiliated with Loot Crate.
This stream brought to you by Drug Crate.
Not affiliated with any other crate.
Dollar High Club. Sorry, go ahead.
Just $100 every month. In an unmarked box in the cargo bay.
How much more was there?
The box was full. I don't even remember I don't even know if Quentin can actually be like this big.
It's like
tiny boy.
Full.
It was, yeah. There was Oxycontin from what it marked. I
Which,
can't
of
remember
course,
the
she
other
would recognize from previous surgeries.
one. There was a lot.
There's... You have just handed me a night's ransom
Wedding.
in fucking opioids. Opiates.
opioids.
Whatever the hell it is.
Mhm.
All right.
And you said it was in an unmarked box.
Yeah.
In the cargo bay.
Mm-hmm.
Why were you in the box?
I was told it was classified
Oh.
by the captain.
You motherfucker. I'm gonna find you, you piece of shit.
You can like feel the bad energy. All of a sudden, it's like, what is that? What have I done?
You just feel murderous intent from over your shoulder.
Yes.
Your back becomes hot.
So-
it's like
No. Well, okay.
Okay, so you found the drugs in an unmarked box
Uh-huh.
that the captain told you was classified and that you didn't need to know about.
Uh-huh.
Why did you go in the box?
Because nobody on this ship full of naval officers can follow
Nobody!
man.
Nobody! It's infuriating, man!
Quentin, you realize that you can get court-martialed for this, right?
Now I do.
God!
You would have realized this
I would have
before
realized it,
now
yes.
as well.
No, that first time we woke up, on the screen when I checked the cargo bay, she went in the box while she was here, but like before, so
Okay. Now, okay, this begs the question, why the fuck does this captain have a huge-ass box full of fucking painkillers
To be okay.
It's fucking classified, y'all.
It's
Like,
classified.
come on.
Okay, the real reason I went in the box, I thought it was something to do with the time loops. I thought maybe it's some sort of dumb device that's just fucking with us. We're in the future?
Okay, alright, I can understand where you're coming from, Quentin. Alright, I get it. But if the captain finds out you went in that box after she told you it was classified, you are in so much trouble!
Then don't say anything, please.
If she asks, it was me. I opened the box.
Oh,
Don't worry about
oh,
it. We got it
good.
all figured out.
Good, the
I
captain,
wanna-
who already has problems with the Marine, is just gonna space you!
No, it's fine. If she's not here. She wasn't there. She didn't see it. I'll take the pills. I'll put them back. She won't.
Nope. No, you
No.
won't.
No. Yeah, I will. I'll do. It's cold down there. I'll just make a quick run. It'll be fine.
So fucked anyway. She can't prove anything.
Can't prove
Okay,
shit.
alright. Well,
To be- I'll just take them. I'll bring them back. I'll do a quick run. I'll be no more than 5 minutes, maybe. I'll grab a sweater since it's cold too.
Why did you come
Oh
in
my
the
God.
box?
I just wanted to know.
I should probably put on pants if we're doing this.
Okay, you know what? No, this
People
is
think I
fine.
don't plan out my
This
experiment.
is fine.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, okay.
but
No,
yeah.
they're gonna stay here. We're not gonna
No.
mention any of this to anybody.
If she goes down there
No.
and notices they're missing.
No, we're not gonna mention this to anybody because I have a small supply of this stuff myself for the medical bay. Shut up! There is a small supply of this stuff anyway because this is the medical bay, and sometimes people need painkillers stronger than what normally would be prescribed. Don't know about you, but the last time I had a migraine, I took a Tylenol 3 for that. Anyway, I will say that it was miscounted when we got on the ship.
You'll say the unclassified.
No, I'm
box was-
saying the stuff that you've left here in my office.
Okay.
These drugs, which you. The world's worst golden retriever.
I found drugs. Are you happy? Are you happy?
You bring
No.
slippers, but they're your neighbors, and you don't even know how you got in the house. How did you end up with the neighbor's slippers with the neighbor in them? That's just weird.
Just like dragging.
Just
They're like heads hitting the dirt.
we're gonna need to have a conversation about
All
your
right.
dog,
No.
man.
Okay, we are not going to talk about this to anybody. This never happened. You did not bring me drugs. You did not find drugs in that box, and you are going to forget about the box. Both of you are going to forget about the box. This is going to get you court-martialed or fucking spaced.
All due respect, medical officer, afraid of the captain. So if she does find out, that's not really a concern of mine. Just say I did it, and everything will be.
You fucking idiot. Bulge of you to assume I won't fucking kill you.
Do remember the old Tane in the seed bank.
Tane,
That it started.
I don't care if you are not afraid of her.
I'm afraid of her.
Okay?
No,
No, listen to me. Listen to me. You're the Marine. Your job is to protect us. Okay? Which means those who cannot fight for themselves. Which means me. And
So you're saying
possibly
that
Quentin.
you're self-serving.
Yeah,
uh,
a little bit selfish, but like whatever.
Okay?
oh,
And possibly Quentin. Depending on the situation.
Quentin's
Okay.
fine. He had training.
all due
Some
respect,
training.
medical officer, loving each is great. I'm not afraid of you either, so you might want to take it down a notch.
Oof.
I'm not saying you're afraid of anybody. Okay? What I'm saying is you gotta think about this in a slightly logical way. We can't just go around blaming shit on people. That is how everybody turns against each other, and that is how we all wind up spacing each other or killing each other. And quite frankly, I would like to avoid that. I already have missing colonists. I don't need missing crew.
No, I'll do respect. I'll give you the time of day here.
You tell
I
me
don't give a
I'll
shit.
do respect
I
one more
listen to me.
time, and I'm gonna stab you with a scalpel.
Oh, I'm gonna stand between
Just-
them now.
Don't try and be respectful to me when the words that are gonna come out of your mouth aren't gonna be respectful. Just say what you want to say. I'm not gonna court-martial you because I'm not part of the military. So if you want to be honest with me, be honest with me. Don't sugarcoat it with all due respect.
Actually, Miss Pisspants, I actually agree. But with that, I have firmly changed my opinion, and I do not agree. And I will just say that if anything happens to Quentin, everybody's going down. That's all I got. I'm leaving.
Wait.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Did I hear you right? If anything happens to Quentin?
Don't worry about
Quentin?
it. Just
So
he's the smallest guy on the ship. I think I can look out for him. I'll just say that. He's small.
Tane, you space my best friend. Sorry, you hurt my best friend. I'm gonna space you.
I literally just said if anything happens to him, I will kill someone.
this is the oddest love triangle ever.
No. If you
Like
hurt
2
Quentin,
points and no bottom. So it's just the 2 points with no bottom. It's just the V.
I'm gonna quickly grab the jugs and run out of the room, and I'm gonna go put them back in the box.
All right.
I'm out.
So
Out.
let's go back to our our less perplexed individuals. The ensign and the science officer, Skippy Maine. You
Less perplexed.
Given what we've just had unfold between the rest of this, you two are like the calmest individuals ever. Staring at yourself on a video feed, doing multiple different things with the reactor over the last 5 years. Yeah, you're actually handling it relatively okay. All right. What are you doing? You, Ensign, you'd seen lots of different things. You saw the reactor door. What were you guys doing?
I want to check one more timeline.
Okay.
Timestamp of 4 days ago,
Okay.
leading up to the 45 minutes, just to see if it matches the stuff we saw on the camera. First time we woke up.
We need to describe what we're seeing to each other to make sure we're seeing the same thing.
True.
Okay, so you're looking back 4 days ago, so the first time that you remember waking up, and you're looking to before the timestamp or before the time jump, the Mark 1, and you're looking to see if it matches what you originally.
Sorry, what?
You're looking to see if it matches what you saw originally whenever you looked at the video cameras 4 days ago,
Yes.
4 resets ago.
Yes.
What you saw then is what you see now. In other words, it matches up with what you individually saw.
We've got something. I don't know what we're going to do with this, but we've got something.
Now remember, you were each looking at an individual portion of the ship at that time. And what you saw may not be the same, but you see the same thing that you saw when you originally looked at it. God, that sounded like the most convoluted explanation ever.
You want to rephrase that? Nope. We're committed.
Okay.
Everybody just went black. Hang on, let me refresh.
Just you.
Yeah, I know.
Just you.
It's just me. Okay. So, come on. There we go. Atlas, you can see me okay?
You're a dog.
Yep.
Everybody
Good
else
job.
just sees my WTF Husky.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, you're all pictures to me too. So the only one that can see me right now is
Oh no, you're black again. Never mind.
weird.
Roll 20 is having a fit tonight.
No, it's the void. It's coming for us.
Oh. I said too much about the captain. It's gonna be shit.
Yeah.
You've been spaced. This is what it looks like. There you go.
Uh-oh.
Let me try this again.
Sorry, Quentin, but you are the weakest link.
I made a boo-boo. Technically, we're going to talk about weakest link.
So there we go. I should be back for most of you.
Yes.
Some of you.
Yeah, I see.
You look over the cameras to the original spots where you checked, and again, like I said, what you saw on that first day, you see the same thing, respectively. So, like if you were checking the life, the colony pods, and didn't see anything up into the 45-minute time jump, it's the same thing. You see.
Man, check the mess hall.
What?
Check the mess hall. That
All
first time through, I saw a tray rotate itself, but the captain didn't see it when I replayed the footage.
Okay. Let's check the mess hall.
All right, you play the video feedback. Skippy, you see the tray sitting there, and you see it rotate. Nain, you don't see it rotate. You see the tray. You don't even see a tray on the table. It just looks like the mess hall. It's empty.
All right. So I don't see a tray. Do you see a tray?
I saw a tray. I saw it rotate just like I did before.
Okay. So we still only see.
We see what we saw that day, except you didn't see this particular bit of footage that day.
But it looks like it lines up. So presumably the video from 5 days ago is what happened 5 resets ago, and we don't know why we don't remember that far back.
Nope.
Presumably things went to hell. It looked great. I don't think we're gonna get much more done right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's we probably best off with everyone. If we all pulled up the videos of everything, there's 5 years of today to run back over, and that's too much for 2 of us to do very quickly.
Yeah, and we're getting close to the end of this cycle.
Do we have time to get back to the bridge?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna mosey on, not mosey, but we're gonna go back to the bridge.
You make your way back to the bridge. You hear the medical officer, Quentin and Tane, having a rather heated conversation, although it's in the medical bay, so it's and the door's closed, so you can't really make out what they're saying. But you hear the 3 of them having a conversation. It seems they're very terse with one another, or at least Tane and Nara are. You make
surprise! Tane's yelling at someone.
make your way to the bridge. There's nobody on the bridge.
Actually, when he leaves the engineering area, I'm going to tell him to go ahead. I'll catch up on. I want to check one more thing.
Okay, so you head up. So
Something important.
yeah, Nain. So you hear you leave, and Skippy says, "I'll catch up." What do you want to do once he leaves?
I get those welding goggles I asked about.
Yep. Yeah, it's basically like it's not welding goggles, but yeah, it's a protector.
Okay.
Okay.
I go stand in front of the reactor door.
You go stand in front of it. All right. You stand in front of
Then
it.
I watch my clock. I'm waiting until I get to about the 30-second mark.
Okay.
Doing something, not telling me.
Nain, you
As a say. Oh, buddy.
hear them arguing as you walk by the medical office. You waiting for Skippy. Time is getting really close to that reset moment.
All right.
Captain, go ahead. What were you
Have
saying?
I established that? So did I go over to the bridge and see no one's there?
Yeah, no one's in the bridge. Mm-mm.
All right. Go back to the med bay, I guess.
The door opens up and you see like Tane
Yes.
and Quentin. The door opens and you're almost like bumping into each other.
Hey,
What? Well,
you guys find anything new?
How's it going?
nothing.
I-
There's been nothing. No, absolutely nothing. Haven't seen anything.
Definitely not any drugs.
Nope, nothing.
No drugs. No drugs here.
We are a
Actually, lots of drugs in
drug-free
the middle,
zone.
but-
We follow Dare.
Oh my god.
They arrived shortly after the captain left my medical facility. We've just been catching up, making sure that everything is all right. They didn't run into anything strange. No problems.
Okay. 30
All right.
seconds. Skippy.
Hmm?
You're watching. And there's no window, but you see from around the seams, which are, it's supposed to be really tight, like nothing gets out. But just at the edge of the seams, it seems to be glowing white. Captain,
Mm-hmm.
you hear it again. And give me an intellect check. Just straight intellect. No modifiers.
What? Oh, there we go.
Okay. Okay. The voice sounds really familiar.
Of course it does.
It's not yours.
Okay.
So there's that. You recognize the voice is that of Nain, your science officer. And whereas before it seems to be coming from a really long distance away through static and some sort of, you know, rangy off, way off in the distance sound.
Mhm.
You hear it very clearly as it says, spinning up iteration number 45 again, Captain. And you watch right as those words stop. Skippy,
Mm-hmm.
the area that
You cutting out on me.
the area that you're standing in right there in front of the reactor is filled with light. It is bright white.
I put in the code and opened the door with the mask on. Or the,
Mhm.
whatever kind of eye protection I think.
Yeah, as you do so, the entire room is engulfed in this radiant, bright white light. It is almost unbearable, even with the protection on.
Can I make out anything within the line?
You blink your eyes, and you see the inside of your pod. The klaxons are going off. There's the soft psst and the pop of the door as it opens up. Tane, Quentin, you awaken. Once again, Tane, you run over and immediately bust open the door. Captain Marilyn, you were staring at your data pad, but now in your pod. Quentin. Oh, you didn't have them. You left those with Nara. Never mind. I'm
Oh,
sorry, you
that's-
don't.
yeah.
You don't have those. Nara does. Nain, you are inside your pod. The door opens and you step out. Skippy, the bright light recedes as you realize that the illumination from the inside of your pod is what you're thinking maybe is what blinded you. The klaxons are going off as you once again find yourselves there. Captain, you close your eyes. Maybe if you can sleep a little bit longer, maybe they'll leave you alone. Maybe the noises will go away. So as your pod door opens, you hold yourself tight, slowing your breathing down so that it makes it look like you're still at rest. It's not that you need 5 more minutes, Mom. It's just that you finally start to realize what's happening. And that's where we'll pick up next week.
Yeet!
With the realization that the captain may know what's going on.
Do I?
You will.
You will.
You will.
Yeah.
That is a message of, I will message you after session.
Oh God.
I would like
Oh,
to thank
God.
Atlas and Jack and Maddie and Jason
thank
and
you.
Vanessa and Pelka. Thank you all very much for coming along and playing. Not as much spoopiness this time, but they can't all be.
Anime betrayals.
They can't
It's
all
gonna
be.
get worse. It's just gonna get worse.
It is. Thank you all for playing. We want to say thank you for everyone who was watching. Join us again on Monday as we go into our fantasy realm, Foundations of Adalar, where sometimes being a murder hobo isn't a good thing. And we'll find out the fate of
Oh God. Oh God. Oh
Monday.
God. Oh God.
And what just happened. And then again, we'll be back on Wednesday for another Alone in the Void, as we find out the captain may realize what's going on, and more mysteries are unraveled, only to see more mysteries arise. Thank you all very much. Again, I am Heath. I am your Void or DM, depending on who you're watching or tuning into. I'm part of Dire Bear Adventuring Company, who is presenting this to you. If you enjoy the game, watching, and think, ooh, I would like to play either fantasy, horror, science fiction, anything else like that, message me. You can find me through Dire Bear Adventuring CO at Gmail, or you can message me here at Dire Bear GM on Twitch. Let me know if you're interested in playing a game. That is my services. That is what we do here at Dire Bear Adventuring Company. Thank you all very much for tuning in, and until next time, take care of yourselves and everyone else. Love you guys. Thanks a lot.